John Cruz here again in China. I want to send you another video because today I had access to the news. Really great. Got to watch a lot of the reports on what's going on in the United States. I feel you guys could really use some good news and some kind of positive feedback that if you do what you need to do now, you will get through this. I kind of get the impression, two impressions from looking at the news. First of all, a lot of people there don't really believe this is serious as it is, so I'm not going to do the quarantines. I want to go back to work. And the other thing is well, people really feeling like, well, I'll do the quarantines, but is this ever going to end? Am I going to lose all my money, all my possessions, and all that? So I want to tell you, it is going to end. You know, when this started here, everything was shut down. I mean, everything. I already told you that. But every city's, mine's 4 million, there's 11 million, there's 23 million in Beijing. And they came down and they shut it down like you couldn't believe. And nobody was out. Everybody paid attention. Everybody did what they had to do. I knew the only thing that's going to change that when I feel better was one thing. And that one thing happened yesterday that gives me the impression, okay, we're over the worst of it. And that was they're letting kids go back to school. Yeah, that announcement came yesterday. I was a little surprised, actually. But yeah, and in the school there's a high school nearby where I live, about a 15-minute walk, and there's 5,000 kids go to that high school. That's what I would call a social gathering, wouldn't you say? So they're making progress here. So I want to say, if it's the same virus and if it's the same pattern, wouldn't you think the same kind of solution would apply in the United States? Seems to be common sense to me, but it doesn't seem like a lot of people want to play. They want to do that, or maybe more self-centered or lack of discipline or whatever. I know it's the concept of just staying at home freaks you out, even if you have a nice house. I don't know, maybe it's because who's at home with you, I don't know. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done. The concept is there's a 14-day self-quarantine. And I get from the news today, there's a misconception on what this 14-day quarantine is about. They're saying, okay, people want to go back to work. We want to go back to work. Okay, so what's going to do? We're going to go through a 14-day quarantine, and at the end of the 14 days, if it looks good, thumbs up, we'll go back to work. No, that's not the concept of the 14-day deal. The 14-day quarantine is a self-quarantine for you. It's used to see if you are infected. You go through the 14 days, you're not infected, you get to go home, stay there. If you are infected, you go to the hospital, you get treatment. Not everybody's getting infected at the same time, so you can't start a 14-day trial at the same time. And all the world, you know who in the world is infected and who is not at the end of that 14 days. People come and go. They're meeting different people, they're going to different places, they're touching different things, they have different hygiene habits. So it's a filtering method, saying, are you safe? Are you infected? Okay, you're not. Let's keep you at home. Let's keep you protected. Let's get the rest of the people, everybody that shows not to be infected, let's keep them safe and at home. Those that are infected, let's move them to hospitals and let's get them treated. That's how it works. Takes 2.5 months. You don't want to hear that. I already know that. You don't want to hear it. It's not 14 days. That is something politicians want to tell you so you won't complain. Would you stop complaining? Would these people stop complaining about that? I'm sorry. It's 14. It is here, if it's the same virus, 2.5 months. But look at what's happening now. The restaurants are open. The streets are normal. From nothing to normal. And now people are going back to school. So you will get through this. You will. There are some harsh measures here. And even now, Chinese government announced it's suspending all foreign visas. No foreigners can come in the country. I don't know why just foreigners can't, but nope, you can't come into the country. They want to protect any more infections being introduced to this area, I imagine. Could you imagine if President Trump did that? how many people would attack him globally and inside the United States? Pack of wild dogs. He and governors and mayors, they have a hard job right now, and it's on-the-job training because when did this happen in our lifetime? I mean, to this degree. This is like an invasion into the United States, and an invasion into Italy, and an invasion into Spain. This is big. And some people just don't take it serious because it's an invisible invasion. But the message I want to give in this video is that I hope people can understand is that their universe is shrinking. It's going to get smaller. What I mean by that is where they would travel and take a train somewhere and get in the car and go somewhere and the weekend, whatever. That's changing. Their universe is shrinking down to a more local environment. And that local environment is their home. It's their residence. It's where you got to stay. It's a timeout. It's a timeout so we can find out who has this virus and they can be treated, sent home, and the others can be treated and then sent home. And, the only thing that's going to change this pattern is if we get a vaccination. Whoa! We get a vaccination, it's a new ball game. That would be great. That would be great. But until that day, your universe is getting smaller. Just temporarily. Just temporarily. Adjust to that attitude. Take safe. And you want to be safe for people that have to be out on the street, like the first responders. If you're not taking care of yourself, wearing the mask, doing what you need to do, and you get them infected, now you just affected a community. Because if you don't have the first responders, who's going to come when there's help? If you can't do it for yourself, do it for them. The doctors and nurses, they're at risk. They're out on the front line taking care of you guys. And a lot of the doctors here, they died. They got infected. Because this was a learning process. It happened here first. In the States, you kind of have this experience now, and the doctors still are at risk. I see there's an argument for equipment. Governor of New York says they got the equipment, but they're going to keep it in storage. But there's doctors in the hospital saying we needed the equipment. So I don't know where the cooperation is, but take it upon yourself, even if you don't see it coming from a higher authority, stay at home. Get some supplies. This is your time. If you see people wearing the masks, I hear people are actually bullying and making fun and jokes of people that are wearing masks out on the street, especially if they're Chinese. They might be a little disrespectful, aggressive to them. Don't do this. Don't do this. This is a horrible reflection of civility, humanity, of who you might be or who that person might be doing that. And if you see that, tell them, knock it off. Knock it off. That's not needed. I mean, we're all in the same boat here. Chinese people walking around the streets are just like you and me. They're trying to make money. They're trying to build a life, fall in love, pursuit of happiness. Right now it's challenging. So it doesn't matter if they're from different countries, if they're from different communities, different states. This is the time. Unify. Be respectful. I kind of experience when I'm walking out, I see people saying, it's a foreigner, so they create a little distance here in my little friendly community. Never seen that before, and it doesn't feel good. Don't give that feeling to a foreigner, especially if they're wearing a mask to protect you. Give the thumbs up when you see people doing the right thing. Support them. And that's it. You'll get through this. I know you will. It's a matter if you're going to take the long road or the short road, or if a nice vaccination will come in and parachute us all out into safety quickly. And that's what we're hoping for. But in the meantime, do what you need to do. Stop complaining too much. And it's happening here, so it will happen there. Pretty sure. 100% sure. Take care of yourselves. As always, John Cruz signing off. We'll be in touch. Share this message. Share this message so people can hear it. And there's no panic. And there's also respect being shared in the community. share the message. Thank you. Signing off.